We need to talk about the brand new wheels from Miche, the new Kleos RD. I've been riding them for the last 4 or 5 weeks and I have lots of good things to say about them. So Miche isn't a brand that younger viewers will probably be all that familiar with, but older viewers will definitely know the name. The Italian company has been around for over 100 years, so loads of history and loads of expertise, primarily in making components and accessories like chain rings and cranksets and seat posts and so on. But in early 2000 they started making wheels. And Miche is one of a small number of companies that do as much assembly and manufacturing in their own factory in Italy and outsource as little as possible. So the new wheel range, the Kleos RD, comprises 3 rim depths and designed to be lightweight and aerodynamic. So a really good all-round fit and forget wheel set. There's a 36 which weighs as little as 1400 grams. The 50 I have here, which is a great option if you're not sure how deep or shallow to go. Good for racing, sprinting, training and just general riding. And then a deeper 62mm if you want maximum aero. And the wheels have been tested and validated in the Silverstone wind tunnel, which I've been to on several occasions. So there's no actual aero data on the wheels available from the brand, but it's nice to know they have put them in the wind tunnel and gather some data to back up what their CFD testing tells them about the rim profile and the makeup of the wheels. So the rims are made from T1000 and T700 carbon fibre and external nipples, so easy to service and straighten the wheel if you have any issues. Both the 36 and the 50 I have here have a internal rim width measuring 21mm, while the deeper rim, the 62, has a 23mm rim width, which is wide, but not as wide as what we're seeing from Zip and other brands on the market, but wide enough for up to a 35mm wide tyre. They're optimised, it says, for a 25 to 35, and I've been riding them with a 32 and also a 30 as well. Now the rims are interesting because we have a hooked bead on the inside there. We're seeing hookless become very popular with Zip, Envy and Giant, but I know lots of people aren't fans of the idea of a hookless rim, although I've used hookless for the last few years just fine. But if you don't like hookless, these are a good option because we have a hooked bead, and that means you run any tyre you want, whether a tubeless compatible setup or a clincher in a tube setup. And the other benefit of hooked versus hookless, of course, is a higher max pressure. With these, you go all the way to 109 psi, whereas with hookless, you're limited to 72.5. These new wheels do have one really interesting kind of trick up their sleeve, really, and it's this, what they call the Aero blade, and essentially a fairing that goes over the hub shell on the non-drive side of just the front wheel. And it's designed to smooth airflow over the hub. And it's claimed by the company, their claims, not mine, to reduce drag by a few watts, so not talking much here, when dealing with the wind at a 0 to 4 degree angle. So basically a straight airflow, this saves a few watts. Now it's not much, it's the most marginal of marginal gains I know, but if you're really trying to extract as much performance as you can, there isn't really much scope on a modern wheel set these days to really make them more aero unless you go much deeper. But you go deeper, you run into stability issues in crosswinds. So trying to keep that balance, that compromise of stability, handling, low weight as well, and also as much aero as possible. Now, I've not seen anything like this before, and the only thing that springs to mind was a set of Mavic wheels many years ago that had a strip between the rim and a tyre to smooth airflow, which was banned by the UCI. Now, I don't think this will contravene any UCI rules, but I'm not racing, so it's not really a problem, to be honest. Now, when you buy the wheels, these will be fitted. I'm just showing you how it works. It simply pushes on to the hub flange, and then the disc brake rotor goes over the top and creates a nice smooth transition in that area. So, carbon fibre rims and then aluminium hub shells. We have a nice bladed aero spokes, external nipples, as I mentioned. And the hubs are the company's own design, manufactured from 70-75 aluminium, with the spoke heads inside, the tall flange there for a bit more aero, and the bearings inside are ceramic speed. There's a sticker on the hub so they should last a long time and potentially give a bit more efficiency when spinning away inside your frame. Center lock for disc brakes, of course, and they're only compatible with through axle, 12mm through axles. There's no quick release adapters like we see with some where you can change the end cap. These are through axle only. And I have a Shimano free hub, but there are Campag and SRAM options as well. We should talk about price, of course, and every wheel in a range costs the same. There's no more for a deeper rim and less money for a shallower rim. So they cost €2,349, which is a pretty good price point. It's not super cheap, but it's not super expensive. And that $2,000, pound, euro price point, there is a lot of choice as well. And quite a step up from sort of an entry level 800 to 1,000 pound wheel set, but not as much as some of the 4, 5, 6,000 pound wheels you can get. So I've got one tire on, I'll get the other tire on, and we'll put them on the bike, and we'll go for a spin, and we'll talk about how they ride, perform, and handle. So, how do they ride then? Well, superbly. So I've been riding them mostly on my lovely Colnago C68 with a selection of tyres, Specialized and Continental tubeless. But right now, for the last 2 weeks, a brand new Pirelli P04S, their new race winter tyre, because right now we're heading into winter in the UK and the roads are a lot wetter and a lot more slippery. And the roads I ride on are a mixture of very steep climbs, I'm talking 20% gradients in places, and fast, flat, rolling sections, and of course, all on rough road surfaces. So I want a lightweight wheel set to not hold me back on the climbs, a fast Aero wheel set for the flat roads, good smoothness and comfort, and a wheel that's going to be stable in the blustery headwinds we have to deal with out here in the Cotswolds, which isn't too much to ask, is it? And these wheels have delivered on all those metrics. They're not quite as reactive as a super lightweight climbing wheel set, but for a deep session wheel, they are good. Where the wheels really impress is on flat roads where the speeds are nice and high. Now, of course, without a wind tunnel, it's really tricky to assess the actual performance, but based on my experience and riding set routes with power data, it's clear they're up there with the best wheels in the category. I love the way a wheel set like this, a deep carbon wheel set, makes the bike feel so fast to come to life on flat roads. But the common downside to deep session wheels is they can be a handful when it's windy, it's blustery, but these are really stable, they hold the line very well. You don't really feel the bike being moved around the road as much as you can on an inferior deep session wheel set. I also love the fact we have a really quiet free hub. Have a listen to this, guys. Not a pip or a squeak, lovely. And the hubs do spin very smoothly in the work stand, and out here there's no lag or anything like that. So after several weeks of riding these wheels on my bike, I am impressed. The weight is low, the aero performance is high, and they've been reliable. I do like the fact we have a hooked bead, so installing any tyre you want with or without an inner tube is a cinch. The free hub is quiet and engages quickly, and they spin smoothly and do everything you want from a nice carbon wheel set, and are a good upgrade if you're in the market for a nice set of carbon hoops for your road bike this year. Now, if you want to see what the difference between cheap and expensive wheels really is, then watch this video right up here. And of course, if you enjoyed the video, then make sure you subscribe to the channel by hitting the button right here. But that's all for today. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you all again very soon.